Akaso Ek7000, and the reason why we do this is so we can add a microphone port on the camera. So, what does that mean? Well, it means the camera has limited space, okay? So, we have to physically look at how we're going to be able to accomplish this. I have the camera right here with the cable, the ribbon cable still attached, so I can actually see what I'm doing on the screen. And we start off by first looking at the camera itself. Okay, where can we put the microphone? You can't put it on this side. There's not enough room. The only place you can put it is in between the space here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of focus a bit better here so you can see it. So I'm going to bring it closer to the camera. And that's the space that we're going to install it on down there. So this little microphone connector, it's a 1/8 stereo connector, will go in between here. Okay, so it will sit in a little bit like that. On the actual camera mount itself on the shell, this is what it's going to look like. I already made the hole, and from the outside, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so if we look closer here, like that, that's what it should look like. It should look like a regular connector. So in order to put this in, we have to add some hot glue, and we also need to wire in the cables, the wires, and it's going to be a little thin wires, so be careful with this. And the connector where you're going to actually connect these wires will be here, and I'm going to show you here at the top, right in that location. The reason why is because that's where the microphone electret is, right there. See? So on the next phase, we'll go ahead and continue on. Okay, so continuing on, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at what kind of wiring do we need for this. So in this case, you got to be careful what kind of wiring you use. The reason why is because you have to use thin wire, okay, in order to accomplish this. So you got to really be careful what kind of wire, because it has to be very, very small, okay, because there's not enough room here to bring it here. Okay, so this is a 24, I believe, is the gauge on this, so that's perfect for it. So that's the type of wiring you're going to need. Well, the next step will be soldering. Behind the electret, okay, there's a plus and minus, so I'm going to see if I can show you this on the camera. I'm not sure if you could see it, but let me just focus here, bring it in closer. So let's look here. I'm going to bring that down there. Right there. Okay, I'm going to just focus a bit better so you can see what I'm doing here. I think I've reached the maximum on the camera, so I'm going to have to back off just a bit. Right there. That's good right there. Okay, I'm going to point out to it now. So in here we have a plus on this side, and here we have the negative. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so it's, now this is a stereo connector, so we're not going to use the plus and minus. So one channel won't be used, obviously, so we don't want to do that. It has to be left open because this is just a regular. It's not a stereo microphone. It's only plus and minus. Okay, so that's it there for now, and then I'm going to go ahead and solder this, and then we'll see you in a bit. Before, we had the leads here, on the minus and plus, and then we actually soldered it now to the little 1/8 stereo adapter. We're not going to be using the ring. We're just going to be using the negative and positive, which is the sleeve and the tip. Okay, so at any rate, in order to solder this properly, you need some flux paste. Okay, get some flux paste here, and the reason why is because it's important to prepare the wires and the contact points to receive the lead. You really can't do any soldering without this. It's absolutely necessary to use this. Okay, so at any rate, now what we're going to do is a final test, and the reason why is we want to know if these tips are soldered properly. So if we hear this, that's a bad sign. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in here, We already know that one's okay because we tested it already. What we're going to do here is tap into both of them. If you don't hear anything, that's a good sign. They're not touching, we're ready to go. Okay, so now that we're ready to go, now remember I told you to leave a lot of wire. You're going to need it because in case if there's a break for any reason or the wire breaks, you still have a lot of wire to work with. Okay? So, now that we have that done, let's see how this fits. So we have to put this back in. Remember, we also have the little LCD screen here to put in. So the reason you have to be careful is because you don't want the hot glue here to rise too much because this has to go over it. Okay, so watch out for that. So, alright, why don't we go ahead and do this now. So we need to put that in first. Okay, so this goes in like this. Actually, if I go in the wrong way, go from the front, it'd be easier. Like this. Okay, so there you go, we got it. So from the front, we got the camera back in. And now the issue is we're always gonna have this problem. The reason why is because this is just a trial run. Okay, just make sure it fits. So now that we know it fits, everything's back to normal. We take the camera out again, and we're gonna pan out so you can see more of what I'm doing here. And about there. That's okay there. Okay, we take the camera out again very slowly so you don't rip the leads. And this time we're going to keep the camera out because remember you have to practice this. So the camera goes in this way. Okay? Now we're right there. So it goes in that way. So we have to put this in here like this. Okay, in a way that when you put the camera in, it doesn't interfere with it. Okay? So now we're going to have to trowel this here. Alright. So let's see that. We're going to practice this in a few minutes and then we'll be right back so you can see what it looks like. Maybe about 10 minutes or so to put it in there. The reason why is because you have to put it in there slowly. What I recommend, okay, and I'm going to actually say this to you, it sucks, but I recommend to break this plastic piece here with an X-Acto knife. Very small, this piece must be removed. Maybe even up to here, okay, cut that out. And then I wouldn't even, maybe even need it there, but in case if you do glue it back with super glue. The reason why is because it's hard to put it in there with this part here in there. Okay, so I was able to squeeze it in there, and what you do is you take your 1/8 connector here that I have here on the table. So you have to plug it in. Okay, that's going to hold it, and in here there's a tiny little slot here, right there, that you have to put your super glue in there. So what you do is you bring it in a bit, okay, and then with the tweezers here, so you push it in all the way hard the first time. The reason why is because you want that to go inside, so you can drop the super glue on top of the sleeve, a little bit of the sleeve, not the front here, just a little bit. There's a little bit of back sleeve there. So once you put super glue there, you bring it out again, and it glues. Then after, drop some super glue very slowly around here, around the edge, not the inside, obviously, around the edge. Okay, use some black marker if you want to, fill it in again, or scrub it really fast with cloth. The reason why is because when you drop water on super glue, it turns a bit whitish. Okay, so watch out for that. Whatever you do, don't use baking soda because it's going to be impossible to shave off. And I think that's it there. We're good. going to put the camera back. That's the front going in. And now the back. This is the critical part. If you use too much not super glue, I should say. If you use too much hot glue, you won't be able to put this back in. So let's check this out. See if it worked. So to put this back in, it only goes one way, so you can't go wrong with this. So I recommend to turn this way. Open up the ports here, the slider for the ribbon cable. So make sure they're open. Once the ribbon starts sliding in there, you'll see it. I'm going to turn it to the camera so you can see it a bit better. So it's going in this way. Okay? Once it's in there, engage the doors and close it. Okay, and I think we're good on both sides. Okay, now to test it, don't snap it back in there. We have the battery here. We're going to turn this thing on. Just make sure that the screen does work, and that's it. Okay, we're good. Now, what you do slowly, start snapping from side to side. That one's in there. Sometimes they won't go in, so just be careful. It'll go really slow. So some sections sometimes it won't go in, so you have to really be careful of this. So take your X-Acto knife, open it slowly, go around it. Okay, and so this part must go in. And there you go. So, now we have the camera here. Okay, we're gonna get the card so you don't see that message. Take the card there. It only goes one way, by the way, so you can't get the card wrong. And turn it on. And now we have a microphone jack on the side of the camera.